Yo, what's up guys? So, Universal Mastery, what I'm going to be talking about in today's video is going to be about the greatest lies that you've been told about spirituality and the greatest lies that are being told in spirituality itself. Okay, so stay tuned. So basically, the greatest lies that are being told in the spiritual community right now, let me start by saying is there is a lot of lies out there. Okay, there are so many people that claim they're aware of what the spirit world is, that claim they're aware of what spirituality really is, and say all these things, the whole 9 yards. They say they're this, they're this, they're this, they're this, but they're missing one of the major keys and the concepts that really ties in the whole spiritual concept and grounds it so that it's actually something that's real, rather than living in a right brain fantasy your entire life. Because if you didn't know this, most of society is dominated in their right brain. So to give you a little bit of a tip, you have the left brain and you have the right brain. You can almost look at it as like masculine and feminine to an extent. I don't really like using that word, but for example, the right brain consists of fantasies. Okay, it consists of like being in touch with your emotional body, and you tend to really be in touch with your desires. Now, when I say you tend to be in touch with your desires, that doesn't mean that you're actually manifesting your desires. That just means that you know what you want, but the left brain is the part that actually goes and manifests your desires here on the physical earth. So if you're living in a world in your right brain and that's the only thing that's controlling your life, you're right brain dominant, and you don't balance it, then you're going to be living in a fantasy essentially. Okay, so you can see where that goes wrong. So basically, most of the people that are in the spiritual community, most of them are living in a fantasy. So they think, oh, I meditate, or I eat healthy, and I do this and I do this, so that makes me so spiritual. I do yoga, I make sure I work out. This makes me spiritual. I say affirmations. I only think positively. Okay, so the first thing that I want to say about the biggest lie that you've been told in spirituality is the positivity thinking. Okay? Now, what I want to say about that is I get the concept. Okay, I understand what they're trying to say. They're trying to say, keep your mind under control is basically what they're trying to say. So, for example, you could make a choice to complain about your current situation and not do anything about it. So, therefore, the more you complain, the bigger that you're digging your own grave, because you're complaining, you're not doing anything about it. You're just digging the grave, and then you're eventually going to jump into it. You're literally killing yourself. Words are that powerful. Then on the other end of the spectrum, they say positive, right? So like people are like, oh, just say positive things, like, oh, it's a wonderful day, I feel great, like watch your words, watch what you say. I understand that, but the truth of it is if you really aren't feeling okay, right? If you're not okay and you're not good and you need help, you need healing, like you're not okay. Like you got some damage that's been done to you, and you're over here saying, oh, positive thoughts, and then a dark thought comes in your mind and you're just like, throw it away, positive thoughts. You're never going to heal that problem. The first thing you have to do is you have to be honest. You have to say you're not okay if you're not okay, but you have to be honest. That's the biggest key, is be like, someone asks you, hey, are you okay? I just noticed this thing about you. No, you know what? I'm not okay, actually. This happened to me, and this happened to me, and it hurts, and I feel broken on the inside. To just say that, I'm getting chills, is so powerful, because you're being honest and vulnerable, because you're letting that person see you. You're putting your ego aside for a second, and you're saying, This is me when I'm hurt. This is me when I'm weak. This is me when I'm asking for help. And that is the only way you're going to heal. Now, the biggest component to it is being honest to yourself. So what I mean is, like, when that negative thought comes, embrace it. Because a lot of times those negative feelings, those traumas, those past traumas that you don't understand and this spiritual community tries to push away and then replace with positive thinking, you're not actually digging into the real core of what's going on, and you're not able to really heal. Therefore, you're not able to live the most powerful life that you can live, and you will never step into a place of full power. Okay, I want you to understand that. So that's the first lie. All this positive dogma, right? Like, everyone's like, positive thinking, affirmation. You can have affirmations that are like, I want to be stronger minded. Like, I want to, overcome against all my enemies. Like, I want all my enemies to tremble when they see me. Like, that's an affirmation you could say that literally makes you more powerful, because it rings true to your primal nature. Because we live in a world where it really is survival of the fittest, and it's about what you know. Knowledge is power these days. So if you can transmute that and use it to your advantage, then you're going to have a step up in life and in society. So if you're thinking all these positive thoughts, and then when negativity comes your way, if you're pushing that away, you're trying to act like it's not there, replace it with positive, then you're doing that. The underlying root cause of why you're doing that is because you're afraid of something. And if you're afraid of something, then that's going to make you less powerful. You have to learn to become friends with fear. You have to learn how to communicate with fear. So that is one of the biggest lies that's been told in the spiritual community, is all this positive shit. Let's talk about the negative shit, okay? Because it's a polarity. Negative doesn't mean bad. Negative doesn't mean evil. There is no such thing as bad or evil. There's things that are right, and there's things that are wrong based on your own perception, right? So we all have an underlying, universal perception, to say the least, where, as in, for example, like if I take a cup and I drop it, gravity is going to make it hit the ground. So then you ask someone, hey, if I throw this, what do you think is going to happen? They're most likely going to tell you it's going to hit the ground, because they understand the principle of gravity. Now, when you ask a magician, someone that's like David Blaine, that can literally manipulate energy fields and manipulate the nature of how things work, and can levitate objects, that may be a different answer for that person. So it's based on the individual. But what I'm saying is, like, most of us understand that universal principle. So obviously you don't want to be bullying people, yet people do that. Obviously, you don't go around and you just attack random people physically on the street. But there's countries where people do that. So you can see where right and wrong, where the barrier is between those things. So what I'm trying to paint here is the importance for negative, because negative is just a vibration. It's not bad or evil. Negative is a vibration. So negative could be my tone of voice. So I could talk to you like this, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? Or I could talk to you like this. I could say, hey, how's it going? This, when I talk to you like this, it's more affirming. It's more authoritative. So it makes me look like an authority figure, because the vibration that's coming out of my voice is a more of a lower negative vibration, but because it's more of that lower vibration, it's more impactful. Rather than me saying, hey, how's it going? Like when I'm at work and I need to talk to, some people for, a mere whatever, a mere 5 minutes, and I need to set them up with something, I might talk to them like this. I might say, hey, great evening. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Things like that. And it just comes out naturally. But then when I'm here and I'm trying to relay a message across, like a very important message, my voice changes. Okay, so be aware of how your voice works. So that is the biggest lie that's been told in the spiritual community, is this whole positive and negative bullshit. Like, no one's embracing the negativity. No one's embracing their dark side. And that's making you spiritually stagnant, and you'll never be the best that you can be. Okay, now the second thing that I want to say about the biggest lie that's being told in the spiritual community is all of these people that are doing, let's say, let me give you some examples. There's people that are doing yoga. There's people that are getting involved in all these spiritual communities, and they're getting involved with groups, and they're all hanging out together, and when they're together they're talking about, oh, I'm so spiritual, oh, I do this, oh, I do this, and I do this, and we're all so spiritual because we're here right now doing a yoga meditation, or we're here doing a sound meditation, or we're here sitting in silence, or whatever the case is. And I'm not here bashing on all of them. Like, I know there's communities, there's groups out there that take this for real and they really are spiritual, but I'm speaking for the masses. Like, most of these communities are full of shit. Meaning that, like, they get together and every single one of them have the mindset of, what is this person thinking of me? Like, they're all doing it because they want to look spiritual. Okay, do you get the difference there? They're doing spiritual things because they want other people to see them look spiritual, which is fake. Because as within, as without, as without, as within. So if I'm doing this from a place on the inside of, I want you guys to see me as spiritual, but I'm really not spiritual, so please don't ask me any questions that go deep, because I won't be able to answer them, but I do go to yoga, so just know that. You get what I'm saying? That can cause a lot of inner disbalance, okay, because you're saying something that you're not. And there happens to be this entity called truth, which does come every now and then, and will expose you. You will eventually get exposed. No matter what you say, I don't care. I don't have to explain it to someone that says they're all this and they're all this talk, and I know they're really not. I don't have to explain to them, well, you have to do it this way, and what you're doing right now is doing this. I don't have to do that unless they ask me, because I know that truth will come around and expose them. Okay, truth has a mighty power to be able to expose people. So I see that a lot in spiritual community, where people get together, they read these books, these like mediocre spiritual books, and they think they're enlightened. They think like, how many books can I read so that I can tell people that I've read these books, rather than reading the book to actually obtain the wisdom to then transfer to knowledge. You get the difference? There's a huge difference. So, you have a lot of people that are involved in yoga that do that, and they show up to yoga and they think they're spiritual. Don't get me wrong, yoga is an amazing practice, okay? But it's also, as much as it is an amazing practice, it can also be just as much of a destructive practice if you're just doing that every single day with those intentions. If you're really not trying to look inside, and you're trying to mix, remember the first slide I told you, mix the whole positive thinking with these practices and with these communities, that is the formula for self-destruction. Because then what's going to happen is you're going to get to a point where you realize, this shit is getting me nowhere. In fact, I feel like I'm getting myself even deeper into like this mental fog. And then you're going to get to a place where you totally discard spirituality, or you become some like Christian that is some like psychopath. And you start telling people all these other lies because that spiritual thing didn't work out for you. And the truth is, everything is spiritual. Everything has to do with the spirit, but it's the real work that needs to be done. The great work. Aleister Crowley said it right. He said, we're all here looking to do the great work. And you can interpretate that your own way, right? In my opinion, what the great work means to me is getting in touch with my higher self. Okay, getting in touch with my own God self, becoming my own God, and realizing by becoming my own God that I'm even beyond that. I'm connected to infinity. And what is infinity? Like, just a label that you can give this whatever essence of life force there is. That is what you can call creator source. But the more labels you give it, the more you're subtracting it. It's so big and vague and powerful and out there in so many directions, and it's that life essence, it's that death essence, it's all the essence. Getting in touch with that through my own individuality, with my divine ego, so that I can control it to the best that I can and direct it where I need it to go to be the best that I can be, like sitting in front of this camera, sharing my energy with you, sharing what I know, sharing my wisdom, my knowledge, so that you can hopefully take that and apply it to your life. I'm just giving you the tools. I'm not telling you to be me. I'm giving you tools so that you can be you, connect with your higher self. But that's how I see the great work, is that full-on connection with my highest being. And yeah, so those are the biggest lies that are being told in the spiritual community. So I want you guys to be aware of that. And if you're looking to really go deep into spirituality and you really want to start healing, like you really want to start initiating yourself into real power, like there's real power out there, and you really want to start getting a full grasp on your life. And don't get me wrong, going into real spirituality, you're going to lose a lot of things, but it's going to shed the things that are no longer serving you. So it's going to all be for an amazing purpose at the end of it. And it's, you're going to learn so much about yourself. You're going to learn why you're actually here. You're going to learn your own purpose, your own life purpose. So once again, if you like this video, hit the like and subscribe button. Universal Mastery. You can also follow me on Instagram. It's going to be like somewhere right around here. JER_477. Make sure you hit that notification bell because I post videos. I try to post videos every single day. Just know that they're coming. They're getting better and better for every video, and I'm sharing with you real fucking knowledge. This is advanced shit, okay? This is advanced shit. So let it soak in. Don't be like overwhelmed by the stuff that I'm telling you. Let it just go, let it absorb into your subconscious mind, because you'll take it in. Whether you know it or not, it will plant seeds that will eventually come to fruition. So once again, that's going to be it. Love you guys. Peace.